Oh, we are live. Okay.
We are
Good.
live.
All right. Take two. We're in the Manimal zone.
Take
with-
450.
Take 400. Take
20.
420, really. Actually, we didn't get too high today. We just finished a great workout. We did some hill sprints. Yeah, we're by the beach. Hold on. Come on. Our view today. Who got it like us? Look at this view. We're in the beautiful Huntington, Long Island at Matt the Steamroller Frivola's house. However,
Yeah, I did my first workout with a Bellator fighter and 2 UFC fighters, and although I didn't make it totally with the sprints, I kept up.
we did hill sprints. There's
for
a pretty
almost the
savage
entire
hill.
thing except for that. That was the only thing I had a tough time with, but I'll take it.
Those hill sprints are tough. I tried to do the
Thanks,
bear crawl.
guys.
Terry, you're getting there.
Thanks, Manimal. Manimal's training camp. So proud of myself. So proud of you.
Who would have
Freaking
thought?
transformed me.
Yeah, I might have to start getting in shape too. I heard Bellator's coming back. So
It is Mohegan
Sun. I don't know if I'm gonna. I'm not saying I'm fighting. I'm just saying that I should be ready because I'm ready to fight at heavyweight right
Well,
now.
we are getting fight ready. At
Fight
least
ready.
for John. You know, not for me, but well, I am getting just in case apocalypse ready.
Just in case.
Just in case. You never know. One day. You're never too old to take a fight or a jiu-jitsu match, right? So you never know.
Jiu-jitsu's age classes. You could always do jiu-jitsu.
At 41? Oh,
So
it's age classes?
so
Is there gonna be
jiu-jitsu-
somebody in my...
Age class and
Oh,
weight
wait.
class. Weight and
I
age.
could go at 115.
You might have to fight teenage girls. I don't know.
They won't let me.
You're 115. But no, in grappling,
Anybody
like
out
I
there
would be
115?
masters. I'm masters 3, I think,
Okay.
in grappling. So it's like at 30 they have a division, and every 5 years in the big tournaments, like
Yeah.
IBJJF, and then the smaller tournaments, then they would have every 10 years usually.
Okay.
So there are age groups
Okay.
for jiu-jitsu. So you can always compete in something like jiu-jitsu.
All right. I have to do something.
Okay,
I like competing.
guys. What about Fight Island? So Saturday we got
I
a
thought it
good
was a
card.
question mark at first, like the whole idea of it, but, you know. How many crazy...
I'm even more excited for fucking Masvidal.
Oh, I'm
Usman.
stoked about that. I'm
What
stoked
do you
about
think?
that. Honestly, look, I love Usman. I do. I'm a big fan. Stylistically, he's a great fighter. He's got good personality. He's like, you know, loud. He's got a big personality. But I really want to see. I really want to see Jorge take it.
I want to see
think-
Street Jesus win.
I
too.
know. I think he's got the skills, the talent, and he's such a big personality right now that, like, I don't know. There's something about him. I'm a big.
I just pray to the
Street
fucking
Jesus
gods of
fan.
war that he wins. Because first of all,
There's something about
did you
him.
see
The
that
BMF.
stat? Is the bad motherfucker title on the line?
Is it?
Why not bring the belt?
I think he should. I
You
think
should.
The Rock should bring it out.
I mean, it should. Why not? It's like, do you remember? I was a fan of 80s pro wrestling, and in the 80s they had the $1 Million Man,
I'm all about that.
and the $1 Million Man had his own belt, the $1 Million belt, like made of diamonds and
I
gold.
like it.
But he would never put it on the line. It would be like, the $1 Million belt is not on the line tonight.
Okay.
Right? Like, so is the bad BMF belt like that?
Mm.
It really shouldn't be, because if you're the BMF, that
You
belt
should
should
wanna-
always be on the line, even though it's a
Absolutely.
fake belt.
Well, is it?
I mean, it's an imaginary title.
I mean, it's as imaginary and fake as an interim title.
Less.
No, now they're not giving out as many. They were giving out interim titles like they were giving out participation trophies for a while there. And it was just to get people to, oh, it's an interim title, let's get you to watch the fight. But you know what? That's such a stupid thing because people are going to watch it anyway. Especially if you get 2 personalities out there that are willing to, like, just be like, ah, you know, who doesn't want to see that? Everybody loves that.
Yeah, sell the fight. You don't need a title
No.
to make a great
Not
fight.
at all. Not at all. Well, and honestly, you don't even need, like, more 5-round. Honestly, I just love 5-round fights because sometimes you see a 3-round fight and you're like, shit, 2 more rounds would have been amazing. Like, how could that have, you know, like.
I don't want to do 5, but you know what I would like to do? A longer round.
Oh, like a 10-minute round?
Yeah,
10-minute rounds?
Like a 10. Remember how Pride did it, 10 and 2 5s?
Yeah.
I would like, personally, 3 7s.
Okay.
Because you need, mainly for me, and as a fighter, as a skilled fighter, you might need a little more time
To get.
to figure the guy out,
Okay.
to
Get
get his
going.
timing. I loved the first 10. I loved Pride because it had that first 10-minute round. And if you remember, a lot of the fights got finished at like the 7-8 minute mark.
It's true.
Because sometimes it takes you a little time.
Yeah.
And if you stop it at 5 minutes, you don't have as much time to figure the guy out.
And then you see fans getting mad when you see fighters going into the second round still feeling each other out. And it's like you're not into, like, chill. You don't get it. You know what I mean? But fans want to see, I'm like, kick it again. Fans want to see continuous high-paced fights, but that's just, it is what it is. You got a lot of MMA fans, and I will definitely say this, a lot of MMA fans come from watching WWE and stuff. It's actually really, really true. That's when I found UFC. It was off of WWE. I didn't realize.
From Brock Lesnar or something?
No. That would be like I just started watching. No, Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock, the world's most dangerous man.
I was like, who is this motherfucker? He's got these really cool. We just trained and swam, so I had like water all over me and stuff. But no, I was like, this dude's like real deal. Like he's pulling off stuff that these guys are. Like, why? I'm like, I don't understand how doesn't he have that? I didn't get it. I was just like, what? This is ridiculous. That guy should be kicking everybody. This makes no sense. And then I realized, I'm like, oh wait, he comes from a totally different background than all these guys. And I was like, okay. I found somebody, like one of my sister's boyfriends showed me an old, I think UFC 2 or maybe even 1, and I was just hooked. That was it. I was like, bye-bye, WWF, and that's when it was WWF.
That's right, before World Wildlife Federation sued them.
Because they didn't have a trademark on it.
Which is stupid, because there's no confusion
in the marketplace. You don't even need one anymore.
But there's no confusion between World Wildlife Federation and World Wrestling Federation.
UFC didn't have anything trademarked, and they actually won a ton of lawsuits because, I love that I know a little bit of history about them, because they had, they were known internationally for the octagon, for the cage, for, even the way that the UFC is written with the colors, like nobody could use that. You weren't allowed to take it. You are not allowed to market with a fence. You weren't allowed to market with a fucking fence, chain link fence, so you couldn't use as a marketing brand, or an octagon. That's why people started using, Bellator had the round ring.
Bellator doesn't have an octagon, it has a circle. It's a circular cage.
Yeah, and then you have,
a hexagon.
Hexagon would have been even cooler. But
7-sided.
I know, right? That's what my logo is.
If
you look at it, because we couldn't use an octagon, so we split it on the bottom and made it a heptagon.
And then we used to fight in the ring. We used to fight in the ring also.
Yeah.
So Pride was all in the ring.
I love it.
Risen and One switch off. Sometimes you're in a cage, sometimes you're in the ring.
There's something to be said for all of that. I mean, you don't want to go hell in a cell style. That's just cool.
You know what that was cool?
Like a real cage.
Reality Fighting used to do a 5-sided ring with 5 ropes. It was like a ring octagon.
That's different.
And it had like a lot of ropes,
so you
didn't slide through as easy. Because if it's only 3 ropes, the problem is you can slide through the ropes.
The bottom.
Remember Pride, they have to restart you. So it gets annoying.
Imagine tag team. Hey, I'm in!
Oh, I would love tag team. I mean, you ever see the Russian shit, the 5-on-5?
Okay, so 5-on-5 is a lot, but 2-on-2 is kind of cool. It's like, 5-on-5 is like jumping style. Like we're quoting jumping.
5-on-5 just looks crazy.
It's like a gang fight.
It's like a gang fight, yeah. It's like
I don't know, especially now with when everything's going on, you might as well. Like that's just what matters. We might as well just start doing some weird shit.
It's like West Side Story without the queen dancing.
Yeah.
The dance fighting.
Yes.
Oh, so Usman, Masvidal. I'd love to see Masvidal win that. Street Jesus.
Me too. It would shake up. It would shake up everything.
Yeah.
It would shake up everything. They definitely would do, him and Nate Diaz at number 2 without a question. And people are still waiting for, Diaz, Conor 3. People are still waiting for. There's a lot of really good fights that could be made rematch wise too.
I like too. Either way, Colby Covington versus Masvidal. That'd be a good fight because of
trash talking. That would be really great.
Because didn't they train together?
Well, they did, and they actually hated each other. Like Jorge talks so much shit about him. It's great. I love it.
So that would be good. It's all I like. Bringing some showmanship to the fight. I like story.
Yeah,
I need a little story. Look at that.
I know. We both.
This was fun. I'm thick. It's gonna be tough to make 145.
Yeah. No,
it's gonna be hard to make 45. So yeah, I like Colby Masvidal. That would have a great story.
I like that.
I like Usman Masvidal right now. I mean, I would love to see Masvidal take him, and I would like to see it go a little bit. Love to see it
Oh,
go.
I'd like to.
4
I
rounds.
would love to see 5 rounds between them, but we'll see.
See, I
what
think if
happens.
it goes 5
Oh wait,
rounds,
what did you see the
Masvidal.
meme the last time a trash talking wrestler went after Jorge Masvidal? It was him flying at Askren with the flying knee, right? It was like, oh, that's so great.
I can't see Usman
He's not
getting
going to make
caught.
the same mistake. There's no way.
I think Usman has a better chin, maybe. Although I don't know, Askren up until that point was pretty durable. That
I mean,
beating
look at
he
him
took from
against-
Robbie Lawler.
I was just about to say that him against Robbie Lawler. You know, people could say people like, you know, okay, listen, you got people that are out there that could very well go and Google the rules. It's not hard. You could look anything up. Trust me. If it's out there, you can find it. You can Google the rules, the unified rules, different regulations from different states, and actually would probably do people a really good justice to themselves as a fan and even as a fighter. If you're watching a fight and you don't really know what the rules are of the fight you're watching, how can you accurately go, oh, this person won? No, that they might not have on points,
Well,
and depending upon how it's scored.
So with a fight though that has a finish, like,
Well, then that's different.
and also there was dispute about that Robbie Lawler fight with.
Well, then you would get the refs, who's and
I think Lawler was out though in that fight.
he was, and now
His
secondly,
hand dropped.
he definitely was, and
I think
for
he was out.
even
You
for a
don't
second,
remember when you're
even
out.
for a second, he was. And now, mind you, and I keep on telling people this, people got to give refs a little bit. Okay, so not all of them, because then you've got like Herb Dean, who's question mark all the time, and Mario, whatever his name is, he's not even a question mark. He just takes a pay cut, always takes a payout. So, but refs are out there that are actually doing their job, which their like number one job is fighter safety, and that's it. Refs are there to make sure you guys could get out and fight another day and fight another fight and not walk out maimed or with serious injuries that you have to take another 6-7 months off. And, they get shit either way for it. Either if you call a fight too late, you're going to get shit for it. If you call a fight
People
too
are going to
early,
give me shit for this, but me personally,
bring it. I
me
think we
personally,
have the same idea.
I would rather you call the fight too soon than too late.
Facts.
Yeah,
There's
I
nothing
mean,
to give shit about that.
I'd rather my coach be like, I thought it was early, than be like, oh man, now who knows if you'll ever fight again.
Who Valentina Shevchenko fight that they let it, I think, go 3 rounds, and it was well over 2 in the first round, 100-something significant strikes.
Oh, the worst one.
It was bad. She had her on the ground. How are they letting her?
I think of a worse one.
Which one?
It was relatively recent. Was it Glover Teixeira Anthony Smith?
Yes.
That fight was brutal. I was like, dude, he was done in the third. He had no offense.
What about when Raquel Pennington turned around and she was fighting Amanda Nunes? She looked at her corner, and it was in the end of the third or beginning of the fourth. And
fourth to fifth.
Said, I'm done. I don't want to go back out. And they made her.
Well, she only said it once. It wasn't as bad as the fighter the other day.
She was turned around and said it like
she was like, I'm done.
Yeah,
and
like, once is enough.
I thought her corner wasn't too bad. They know her fighter. She only said it once. Did you see a couple weeks ago that other fighter who was like, I'm done? He said it like 9 times. And I think Robert Drysdale was the coach.
That's
bad.
That's
She said it once. Listen, it's tough. Part of your job as a coach is to
push your fighter, and I get it.
However, if you think your fighter shouldn't continue, if they're really having problems,
I've seen coaches throw the towel in and stuff.
I wouldn't do that, because then I think your fighter will never trust you.
No, you got to give them opportunity.
I would always call the doctor over.
Well, that's a way to do
Let
it.
me look
say,
at doc. Hey, doc.
That's a good idea.
Look at me. Take a very close look at him, doc.
I like that.
Doc, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Close. You know what I'm saying? Stop the fucking fight. You're the doctor. Be like, if the doctor stops it, the fighter's like, oh, if I throw in a towel, the fighter might be like, oh, is my guy not think I can win?
Diaz, and everybody got pissed about that fight. And the proof
I have a story about him.
The fight before that, Nate got cut in the same spot.
I have a story about that guy. That doctor.
The doctor?
That doctor.
I thought he was going to get Epstein. Go on.
Yo, so that doctor, I'm not going to name names, but a particular doctor who worked in ADS fight. I go to see him for my pre-fight, so I'm over 35. Mm-hmm. Now, when you're over 35, they want you to do a lot of stuff to make sure you're okay. Thank the gods. I'm happy that they test us. Yes. So I have to go. I have to go see a neurologist. Right? All right. So he's the neurologist. The guy. He's a neurologist. So I go there, and he's like 39. He's like, "Aren't you too old to be doing this?" I'm like, "What the fuck, bro?"
That?
I was like, "How's it look?" He's like, "You're fine." I was like, "That's it."
That's horrible.
I was like, "That's it." So I see him in
I
the.
would have been like, "That's not your call to make."
So I see him at the Nick fight, the Nate Diaz fight, and I'm like, "Nate." He stopped the car. I was like, "Oh, this fucking guy." I was like, "What a ball buster." Oh, you bust my balls and then.
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
But,
Who are you to make that call?
even I go to my but I always get it. But you know
I
what?
know, but still.
Yeah, it's all right. I like it. It almost gives me power.
That's insane. But I do like that they do all that testing. And fun
I
fact,
think it's good.
fact,
I'm all for it.
that's how John Howard found out that he had autism was through when they had him get like rigorous testing through a neurologist, and I guess it was a CT scan or something else. He talks about it all the
I
time.
had to do both CT scan and MRI.
Yep. He talks
So I
about
do
it all
both.
the time. Too.
Yeah. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I
there's nothing
understand.
wrong
I
with
get my eyes start. Listen, do all the testing. It almost makes me feel good
It does.
that I'm healthy.
It should.
You know, drug test me.
Look,
Do whatever you need to do. It actually almost
you want to make
makes
sure
me
you're
feel
not out
good.
there and one, your opponent can't give you a contagious disease, and two, that you know what I mean. Like you just want to make sure that you're going out there healthy, and the fact that they're doing that is absolutely huge. I mean, what there was a couple of years ago a fighter in Florida who tested for what was it HIV or AIDS, and they caught it before a fight. They were like, "You can't fight," and people were like, "Well, no, you can't.
you can't fight.
You simply cannot fight. There's nothing you could do about that."
Why take the chance?
That's why they do the Hep test, the HIV test.
Yeah, we do all the Hep tests, HIV. That's statewide, Kerry.
Yeah.
So depending what state you go, they can require certain testing, and then UFC has the separate thing, USADA.
So wait, certain organizations won't test you for Hep and stuff?
No, everyone tests you for shit like
that's
that.
Crazy.
But hold on, listen. So, oh yeah, steamroller, guys. We got the steamroller for Vola. Hey, you want to talk
We
about
got the
that?
quarantine camp
I
crew
got
here.
quarantine crew.
Just got that working. Boom. Boom.
So steamroller has been tested for COVID more times than I've had STD tests. So
I love you.
7
You wanna
negatives.
you want to pull up a
7
chair?
negatives.
You want to sit
That's
here?
awesome.
7 negatives. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you know, it's just
Not that it matters.
it's right, does it at this point? I mean, literally everybody in every fighter at some point is gonna test positive for it, I'm convinced. Or not.
Everyone. I
Or
think
not.
it's going to be like
And-
1/3 of people are going to have it.
But like, what test? What if they're faulty? And there's people that are that are like have had it, don't have the antibodies. So it does none of it makes any sense. It all says that.
I mean,
we're gonna
steamroller.
get
You
into-
know where
we're
you
gonna start
fucked up
getting into
first. You went to
conspiracies.
Florida. First, he went to Florida.
The
You know.
tours of being in the city right now.
Yeah, well,
The city's a
everything's
mess.
open down there.
True.
I went down there. I went
I
down
think
there
there's something to be said for that.
in the beginning of May. And like I came from New York where everybody was wearing masks. Everyone was super locked down in New York. I go down to Florida, as soon as I get out of the airport, nobody's wearing masks.
That's awesome.
Even in like 7-Elevens. And then
Unhealthy to wear them.
the LA Fitnesses were open, the hot yoga spots were open,
Really.
the restaurants were open, the bars were open. And it was business as usual down there. And that's why I went down there for camp and I crushed it.
Because you're at a regular camp. Here we were
Yeah.
shut down, locked down.
Oh, yeah, you
Everything
couldn't
up
do
here
anything here.
was locked down. So I went down there and I crushed the fight camp. I got into beast mode. And then we got to Vegas and we checked in on Tuesday. And then they test everyone as soon as they check in. And then you go right into mandatory quarantine until you get your results the next day.
Yeah.
And
then Wednesday morning, Billy Q got the call that he was positive.
It happens, man.
And,
Fucking Billy Q. And how do we know Billy Q didn't first get it? He was in Vegas the week before for the fight.
well,
Absolutely.
he was
And-
in Vegas for his fight and had 2 negative tests. And then we went back to Tampa. We were in Tampa for 2 weeks. And Billy Q wasn't even really training for those 2 weeks because he had that crazy fight. And
Yeah. That was a great fight against
Spike.
Spike.
That was
That was
great.
that was one of
He
the
was on the undercard, right? There's so many people that I'm like, why are they putting them on undercards? It's like,
great fight, great grappling exchanges.
Yeah, it was a war.
What a war!
And
That's
then
That
we-
guy looks like Danny Bonaducci, like a really jacked Danny Bonaducci. Sorry.
so we
So you got back to
we
Florida.
got back there, and then Billy's his shoulder was a little jacked up, so he wasn't even training, and he just won that fight, so he was kind of on his victory tour, having fun. He had his brother and his buddy came down, so they were like partying for 2 weeks. I didn't really even see him much, so I think that's where he got it.
He wasn't from training.
Yeah, it was from the celebration tour,
Well,
the
I mean,
victory tour.
Now, when you
It
got
was-
there and got tested, did you say to like the commissioner or anything? Can you replace a corner man? How'd that go
We
down?
tried.
So how'd that conversation go down?
So as soon as Billy tested positive Wednesday morning, and then they said, "Don't worry, we've had a false positive in the past."
Mm.
So I guess that Ian Heinisch guy, his corner had a false positive.
yes.
So they sent somebody up and they retested Billy Q, and then a couple hours later they're like, "Yeah, he's positive again." And then I'm like, "Oh my god!" So I actually the UFC doctor called me, and I was like, and he told me that Billy tested positive twice, but I tested negative twice because they tested me again as well. So I had 2 negatives, and then I also told them that I had got tested for the antibodies in end of April, and I tested positive for the antibodies. So it's like it's hard for me to. I can't even really get it. Once you
Yeah.
get the antibodies, it's supposedly.
You have the antibodies. You had it. You recovered from it,
So
That's
he
like
said,
and you didn't
else,
even know,
that's
right?
any-
You weren't
any-
sick or anything.
no, I didn't
Do
even
you know almost any viral infection that's really good rule of thumb is that you have the antibodies, you didn't have it, you were exposed to it, and that means your body kicked its ass.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's so many people that have had that, which they should really take
Better than a vaccine.
any viral infection. Anybody that has the antibodies for it, they should really look at that person's blood and say, okay, what do you have that's different, and let's see if we could get this and make some kind of not a vaccine, but something, a cure from that person.
Could you just make a cure? Yeah. Can you just cure it? With
Listen,
all
I
these
I don't
know. I'm
wanna-
not a doctor
I
either,
don't
guys.
want to be a
Don't
guinea
trump
pig.
me.
I don't want to be.
Don't trump me that if I say something
And-
as a question.
And I don't want to be a guinea pig, but I will be like that person that if like there is something that like I have that other
So,
person doesn't, they take
hold
it.
on.
I'm fine with
Let's
that, but
take
I
it
ain't
back.
gonna be a guinea
Let's-
pig either.
I hate to be the one to reel it back. So
No.
steamroller. When they said, when did they pull the fight, and when did they say you couldn't replace him as a corner man, even though you tested negative and had the antibodies?
So I'm on the phone with the UFC doctor, and
Because this is Wednesday or
And-
Thursday.
this is Wednesday.
So
Billy
before you
Q-
start cutting, you're like $162.
Yeah, I was 162. Billy Q just tested positive for the second time, and I'm talking to the UFC doctor, and I'm like, "Listen, I tested negative twice. I haven't been around him. Like they put us
They
in different
quarantines
rooms.
you guys separate.
Yeah, in different rooms. And then I say, I also have proof of a positive antibodies test. So he goes, "Oh, you have the antibody test. Can you get proof of that?" So then I hit up my doctor, got the proof of my antibodies test, and the doctor was like, "This is a very unique situation." He kept like saying all this shit, like, and he said that if it was up to me, I'd let you fight. Like, this is looking, I'm gonna go talk with the rest of the doctors, with the rest of the people, but I think you should be good to fight. So I get off the phone with the doctor. I'm like, all right, I think I'm good to fight, And then Arroyo calls me like a couple hours later, and he talked with Sean Shelby.
Yeah.
And
That's the matchmaker for the UFC.
and Sean Shelby, I guess Arroyo got the real spiel, and they said that like that they have to talk with the lawyers. That even though the doctors said that it should be good, that it could. That now they have to look at the liability and all, and whether they want to risk it for one fight, that they had to, and then
It's
they
cheaper to just.
But now look at it. Now look at how many people. You know what I mean? Oh, what was it? Burns trees out of.
everyone's popping hot.
Where does he train
Burns,
out of?
And then Pedro Munoz too is out,
I'm
right?
saying.
Yep.
So now you can have all these fighters that are out of Florida.
Testing positive for COVID that are
I'm so
asymptomatic.
shocked that Jorge didn't. I mean, like, 'cause he trains out of Top Team down
Yo,
there.
I crossed my fucking heart and prayed to the gods of war. I asked Odin, I was like, please. I was like, give him a clean test. We can
Right.
see that fight. I was like, can everyone fucking test clean? And Usman's in Florida too,
I
which
know,
made me
they
also
all are.
nervous.
They all are, and that's, but that's the thing. I think that they really need to look at this. I was saying it to a couple of my friends, is that they need to look at it from a different approach as to what if, and a couple articles have come out, what if it was here last fall instead of last winter? Because they only discovered it November 17th, and that was in China. So what if it was here in September, right? Which I know 3 people that can come up with paperwork from doctors that said they came up with a unknown lung disease or a flu-like illness, and they were all for 3 months had this crazy cough, couldn't breathe. Tony Robles, the
You just
tournament
think it was
director, was
way
one
early.
of them. So many people. I think it was here. We hit the second wave, peaked, it mutated, and that's
That's
why we
fucked up,
got all
Kerry.
these-
You brought me that pool tournament and exposed me to COVID. I'm fine now. I'm just kidding.
We went and met with
And I
Joe
didn't even
Rogan.
get the belt.
We met with Joe Rogan November 1st, and he had it. Tony had it when we saw Joe Rogan November 1st at Amsterdam Pool. We were with everybody.
Whatever. So the timeline's all fucked up.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, I do want to say one good thing about the UFC, that they fortunately
They paid me.
took care of
I
me,
mean,
right?
they paid, yeah,
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That
So
makes
thank
me
the
happy.
gods. I mean, that's the
That
right
makes
thing
me
to
happy.
do because that's
Bellator paid everybody too. That was supposed
at the
to be on
Mohegan
that
Sun
card,
card. Yeah. Odin said I could have went either way on that one.
Yep.
Now I see
But now
why.
you might get another one because they're going to do their first, I think, quite a few back in Connecticut. Connecticut's one of the only places that you really
Oh,
do.
see, Odin's watching when you said
Yeah.
that.
Oh, see, I'm good.
All right, Odin's watching.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
So we just had like a flock of ravens out here.
Highly favored. Highly favored.
So hopefully
What we
that's
need to do
a good sign.
is we could go out there, and that's where you could do like a whole.
I don't know if AJ
2-week
Agazarm wants to fight
You
at
know,
55,
a
maybe
2-week
85. What do you
quarantine
weigh
out
right now?
We were talking because they were saying something about that they want people to do 2-week quarantines, but to go out there and do like a 2-week
But I already was in
get ready, I
Connecticut.
wouldn't care. I wouldn't mind that.
Oh, I go train at
I
slaughterhouse.
would not mind it. I wouldn't mind
2
going
weeks.
to. I mean, there's so much
Everyone likes Kaz.
beaches and everything.
Why is he so hot?
Yeah, but there's
My wife
just
is
to do
always
everything.
like, she's like,
Okay,
oh my
so
God,
look,
Kaz
all right,
is so.
this is the thing, right?
What? He's a good looking guy. I don't find. I'm just saying, like,
Every girl.
Never looked at it that way.
I don't.
Everybody has
But when
a
my
type.
wife says it, I'm like, I guess.
Well, everybody has a type. So there are people that are going to be that person's cup of tea, and there are people that are not going to be that cup of tea. You know what I mean? I told you I've been first problem.
I know.
Oh,
You get too many girls. In your
I'm
DM.
having so many girls hit me up. And
Kerry?
I have to like literally tell people, I'm like, oh man, if you have tattoos, I run after him. Like,
While Kerry, while we're not judging anyone, Kerry is straight.
I am, and I'm not judging anyone, but I get more. I got more pussy pics than anybody out there. I can tell you that much. And I'd rather get a dick pic. And I said that unsolicited. I take it.
You know
Thank
things
you.
are bad
Please.
when you're taking dick
Yeah,
pics.
please
I
and
don't
thank
even
you.
wanna
I'll
see
take
my
one
own
over
dick.
that any day of the week. Ugh.
I don't even want
I
to see
don't
my
want
own dick
And
half
when
the
it's
time.
not even solicited, I'm like, I didn't ask for that. What are you doing? Like, that's some Harvey Weinstein chick shit. Like, that's some Ghislaine Maxwell shit.
Just send you a picture of a pussy.
Yes,
I know it's not someone
that's
else's
some
pussy.
fucked up shit. I know.
It could just be anyone's.
It could. That could be. Yo, I question
Stop.
everything on the internet. That you get like these catfishers and shit like that anyway.
Okay, so
you
Steve-O,
know.
what do you think about Masvidal Usman? Hold on. While he's
Switch
stuffing his
focus. What we
face.
got going
Can
on?
we bring it back? How am I
Stop
the
with your
one?
conspiracy theories.
How am I the one bringing it back in?
I always got the tinfoil hat.
Kerry, you know, Odin told me that I'm here to
pumped
bring
about
you.
that.
I know. You're
I'm so
me
pumped. I was.
I'm pumped. That's a fight like from back in
It's gonna be
like
the best fight.
that
ever.
was the fight. As soon like I knew like it had to be Masvidal Usman.
Right after it was.
Right, yeah, right. Even like back in the day when you kind of think of the matchmaking, I always when then Usman was or Masvidal was holding out because he wanted more money. But hopefully, you know, it seems like the UFC paid him.
Mhm.
Now he stepped up.
They should.
He must have been training too, you know.
They should. They should.
Chris, he doesn't look worried about making weight.
Yeah, he must
Yo,
have
you
been
got
training.
that outdoor TV that you had last time.
Yeah,
We
same.
did fucking watch it here. Oh my god, that would be
Oh
awesome.
shit! We should do a fight companion for this weekend.
I would be so down.
We should do a fight companion because there's other good
We
fights
gotta
on that
ask for
card.
Cole.
Well,
Please,
wherever
no.
we do it, but there's other good fights on this card.
I'm in.
What else do we have on this card?
Oh yeah, that guy, that heavyweight from PFL, Maxim Griffin. He's making his UFC
Yo.
debut. He's a Russian guy. You know that guy?
I do.
Yeah, he trained
I do.
at law. He trained.
Oh yeah,
he trained at law with us a little
that's
bit.
right. He said I
I
saw.
know. The PFL has
Yeah.
a lot of them.
He was like working out on his own. He's like a heavyweight, a big
Yeah.
guy.
They're big. And him and his boy, yeah.
Yeah, he was there without his boy once, and he was like working out, and he's like, and I was just like working out there, and he called me over to like wrestle with me, and dude tossed me around.
This guy's massive and good.
I had
He's
I had
good.
no clue who he was either, and then Longo's like sitting on the side, just like laughing at me, like, because this dude was huge, and he was just like, we were drilling too, and he was like just tossing me around. And then ever since that, I started like following him,
No,
and I'm pumped. As soon as I saw that he was making his UFC debut, and he's fighting a good guy too.
I think you're going to see a lot of PFL.
PFL. I
crossovers.
think. How does PFL even stay in business?
They
Who
said
the
they're
fuck
going to come
knows?
back next
He's
year, but
fighting,
still, you're going to see people wanting to fight. Nobody's going to want to
Yeah,
take a
people
2-year
wanna
fight
fight.
off. Who anybody in there, right? And I liked their setup. I liked it with what they were doing.
I liked it
But
better when it was
now,
IFL. But
I
whatever.
did like it, but I liked when it was what was it?
World Series of Fighting. Like,
You know what I mean?
I
I
fought
did
World
like
Series of
IFL.
Fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
I like
great.
Yeah, Maxim Grishin, he's got a
He's
win
really
over
good.
Volkov.
Yeah.
Alexander Volkov back in M1.
Yeah.
And he's fighting Marcin Tybura.
Oh, Marcin Tybura, that's a good fight.
That's
That's
a
a
good
really
fight.
good fight.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
can't get it to pull up on my phone.
Marcin Tybura was in that one fight with the most vicious nut shots ever.
Oh, yeah.
That's so bad.
He was like half of that fight.
No, the
Oh,
best nut
But then
shot.
we got title fights. Hold on, we got title fights.
Oh, you got
got a bullshit-
Holloway versus
Holloway Volkanovski.
Two. That's their second fight.
I like Holloway in that fight.
I did too. Do you see it going the other way? Do you think he I mean,
I would love to see him use do a little grappling to open up his striking better.
You can't not love Holloway. He's the
He's
fucking
such a
man. He's the man.
wow,
He's
such
the
a
man.
good
He
man.
seems super cool. Like,
Hey, it is what
super
it,
real.
And
it
you know
is what
though?
it is.
I think
It
that
is
like
what it is.
every great fighter goes through, some kind of a loss and something.
And it wasn't that bad.
And
It was like,
everybody loses. So he doesn't take it hard at all. He's like, whatever it is, what it is.
Yeah,
And
right
that's
back
what I
there.
love about him.
it is
You know,
what it
he's
is.
such a
Yeah.
good.
I'm interested to see how he looks because you see that he
Yeah.
said that he did his whole camp on Zoom.
Yeah.
He said that he saw his coaches for the first time at the airport.
Oh, that's
He said he did his whole, but
stuff.
yo, like really?
It's
Like,
all
yo,
nothing.
his
Sometimes
fight
it might
with
be good
Poirier-
for him, though.
I don't know.
His
Oh,
fight
'cause
with
he's
Poirier was one of my favorites, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. It was after it, and it really didn't have much to do with. The fight was great, but after it, how like they were Poirier went up to his son and was talking to his son because his son was crying, and they had like this whole
Yeah,
like
that was awesome.
process moment. It was really cute. It
I
was
fought
really
on that card.
good. Right,
Atlanta, baby.
did.
That was a sick.
Right,
Also,
Emery's, right?
That was Adesanya and Gastelum, and then Poirier and Holloway.
Oh, who'd you fight?
I fought Jalen Turner.
That was a fucking tough fight too. That was a rough first round. I remember.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
you turned it on,
Yeah.
yeah.
and then you always pull that move off, the guillotine
Oh
move,
yeah, I just got to start finishing.
finishing it. Yeah, motherfuckers can't stop you from turning them with that because you put the pressure on. It's
But
nice.
going back to that Holloway Volkanovski fight, I'm excited to see Volkanovski too because I love the way that he used those low kicks.
Me too. And he's my height, which I always love. Thick.
I'm watching that fight.
He's very thick.
He was a punter. He used to be 230.
Oh.
Rugby player.
Rugby
Okay.
punt like a kicker.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
they're like that's.
And he
a
was
whole
like
different
two, he was
ballgame,
like
too.
220, 230 or something.
Jack. Yo, his
Nice.
legs. He has some of the most massive legs I've seen.
I like him. I
He's
like them
some
both. Like, it's
fucking
gonna be a
athlete.
fun fight to watch. And wait, don't. We have a couple chick fights on that card too. I know. I think Macy Bar.
Paige Van Zandt.
Yeah, but who's she fighting? It's like the two pretty girls.
So obviously Rose and Doug Rose and Andrade.
I am
Rematch.
so excited about that, and I don't. I mean, I should hope that it's not going to go the same way as the first time. But I mean, Andrade, like she should have done her and those takedowns.
She didn't show
she
well
did.
against Zandt.
I
but
know, and I said, but you know what? Not that she didn't either, because when you go back and you watch that fight, they were both taking some heavy shots. They could have knocked each other
Early and
out.
quick.
I love that fight, and I would love to see a second one. But I think that she's going to have the title for a little bit.
Well, I remember Rose beat her up in that first round, right?
Perfect first
And
round.
then she came
And then
out
she
and
got
smiled
slammed
at
on
her, or whatever
Yeah,
she did.
that was like one of the most dominant first rounds you could have
Yes.
without a finish. 'Cause she was
She's
just
got
piecing her
great
up.
hands, and people don't expect
She
it
was
because
just piecing her
she's
up.
so tall, and if you look at Rose, she's very lean, so she doesn't have that bulky like. Girls look at her and they're like, she's.
No, I bet you
Her
she's
hands
way
are
stronger than
beautiful.
she
Yeah,
looks.
she probably got that freak strength.
Trevor
She's
Whitman
on-
and then Pat Barry just like
Yeah.
training her out.
Pat Barrett's a monster too.
Badass.
That guy had
Badass.
mixed results fight wise, but
Yeah, doesn't mean he's
incredible fights. Incredible. The
Yeah.
one with Czech Congo, we got to watch that. We should do a fight,
I'm
old
down.
school fight again.
Yeah.
I'm
Because Czech
interested.
Congo Pat Barry was the best back and forth single round fight in history.
I want to see how Rose comes back like mentally. Cause she's, I mean, I
She
love
went through a lot
Rose,
of shit.
but she's a little bit of like I'm not gonna say like a head case.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of like she's just very mental or whatever.
Crazy
You
knows
could
crazy.
definitely, I was gonna say, you
Yeah.
could definitely say that. We're you're sitting
I
in
love her,
company
yeah.
of two
Yeah.
little nuts, but it's
It's gonna be interesting to see how she comes back because she knows that she was beating that girl up in that first round,
she
and
has
she
such
just
a
got.
great headspace against you.
I give her a lot of credit for taking that rematch
Yeah. Yeah.
like right away.
Right
I thought
away.
she would maybe take another fight, get a win, and then rematch. But
Yeah.
she took that rematch right away. So
She
she
wants to get
she
it out
goes
of
out
her
there
head.
and she's gonna be next in line if she she wins, she'll fight Zhang. And
Oh,
that's a
definitely.
fucking
That's
fight.
going to be a
That's a
really
fight.
good fight. That's going to be a great fight. And right now, you have such a, Zhang is, people don't realize, like,
Look
her
at her next to
following.
Valentina. Oh, huge, you mean in following? I thought you meant size-wise.
No,
I
she's
was
going to
like,
bring,
this
she's
is
going to
jacked.
bring the
I wish
UFC.
I
I
had
love
a-
her. Yeah.
Yeah, I
But she's
love
got
that.
China.
And she does all-
in China and America, they love her. And yeah, Valentina's like she's my favorite.
She's the best fighter of all time.
I love
Because
when
she could
people
fight at
say
15
someone,
if she wanted to.
Amanda Nunes is Amanda Nunes. I'm like, listen, everybody has
Amanda
losses.
Nunes is
Amanda
steamroller
Nunes has
size.
losses too. You know,
And News, a linebacker.
they both
She's
hit like
no,
dudes.
yeah.
They
And
both punch
Valentina
like
went
dudes.
like
Both of them.
5 rounds with her, and really and Valentina, look at her next to Weili. They're the same size. She
I
can
know.
make 15 if
That
she
would be
wanted
great.
to.
That would be a great fight. A catch weight even.
Weili needs a couple more fights
A
to make it
super
a great fight.
But a super fight catch weight would be great.
122.
Was that
Yeah.
that 115-pound girl division is definitely like spicing up. I
It's
love
deep.
Oh, it is.
With
I like.
Zhang.
Yeah.
With Weili Zhang,
Zhang,
and then
Joanna's
what's the
looking
deal
back
with,
on for one.
Tatiana Suarez.
Tatiana Suarez.
She is awesome. I love her.
Yeah, but she's
I
always like
love
hurt,
her.
right?
Yeah.
She got cancer,
There's
so
another
a lot of it could
one.
come from treatments and stuff
I
like
want to
that.
say she like hurt her neck or something.
I'm not sure what's going on with her right now.
But she's up there.
Who
Yeah,
just
Fug
fought
Rose.
Courtney Casey that everybody thought? Oh, was it
Jillian Robertson.
She's coming up, and then you also have Cynthia Calvillo.
Oh yeah.
So
Cynthia
she's on a
Calvillo looked
big
good too,
come
yeah.
up.
She's a 25. She's gonna.
Oh, she did
25. Oh,
look
Jessica
about
Rai
25.
moved up to 25.
Right.
Jessica Rai is
Right,
25.
I forgot
that's
about
right.
that.
Yeah, I mean,
I do. I like the 115, and
Did Paige
I
move up
don't
to 25?
see. She did. It's a shame because I really don't see the UFC taking on the 105ers, and I know they all want it, but I just don't see it happening. Although
105's a great
they have a
division, too,
deep
for girls.
division, really deep. There's no shortage of tiny little girls out there.
Yeah,
Like, that's the thing.
Lindsey Van Zant and that girl Alicia
Alicia.
Zapatella had a great fight at 105.
Alicia,
Invicta.
she is. It's a shame that
And,
the Olympics didn't happen
even
because I know
Michelle-
she was thinking about trying out for the Olympics again. So that would have been a good run for her.
I
this
think we
year.
talked about this. Michelle Waterson originally was a 105.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she could get back down to 105. She would
she'd
be
be a champ,
she would
yeah.
definitely get that belt.
Oh,
this
no.
year.
ain't nobody want to see 105 pound.
You know what I'm saying?
Ain't
Well, the
nobody wants-
girls for the females, I mean, they're
They
like
gotta, they
you
gotta
get a
focus
bunch
on filling up that 125-pound division
They do.
before they
they
open
do.
up
You
another.
know who they should get in there immediately? Erin Blanchfield.
Yeah.
Erin
She's
Blanchfield is badass, and then I think
Is she like
Oh, you know,
the
don't
girl?
forget at
She
115. Hold on. Don't
She
forget,
is.
you
She's
know, we
badass.
forgot something at 115. Don't forget we got Mizuki.
Oh
yeah, she's
Don't
really good.
fucking forget. And she beat
really
that Chinese girl who was really
She
good.
did.
She was supposed to fight someone good. I forget who
Mizuki's got a fight coming up.
she fight.
I don't
You
know,
I
but
gotta
I was
look it up.
really excited when Mizuki was supposed to fight Tisha Torres.
Tisha Torres, yeah.
I hope that fight still happens down the road.
I think
Me
things that are
too.
meant to happen.
Did Tisha Torres just lose the decision?
She
I
just
feel like
won.
she-
She just
She
looked
just
awesome.
won. I forget. I'm trying to remember.
Tisha
I think we
Torres
both
just
fell
fought.
asleep.
She
We
won.
We fell asleep.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Can
sorry,
we talk
UFC.
about that?
Sorry,
Happen all the
ladies.
time, like sometimes, because.
Oh, wait, there's another title fight on Fight Island.
Peter Yan.
Peter
Oh.
Yan, Jose Aldo.
I feel bad.
Even-
Jose.
Now, I mean, Jose Aldo looked good at
I
135.
know, but
The only problem is the
I
fight's
think
bullshit
Peter
because
Yan is
Aljo
gonna fucking- I have to
deserves
say.
the 135-pound title fight.
Yeah, Aljo's
You know, you
the-
can't deny Aljo.
He's the uncrowned king, right?
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like- he's like the
I agree
people's
with you
champ.
guys. Like,
the people's
He's
champ.
like the
Leon.
fucking people.
and I keep on telling people because people are like, oh, it's because you're from New York. I'm like, don't say that. Don't
Look
say
at
that
how
because
he
I'm the
dusted-
biggest fucking critic of anybody, and I don't care if you. I'm like, listen, people get mad all the time, but I'm like, yo, I'm a journalist. It is, but it is. He deserves it, and they're shitting on him real hard.
He fucking.
And in my opinion, they should have let you fight. I got so mad about that. I called like personal feelings. I'm like, that's not right.
You know why I don't like it, Kerry? Because I fucking know for a fact that if Pedro Munoz would have beat Aljo in that fight, he would have got the title shot. I
Absolutely.
100% know it. Tell me I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
I think he would have. They were setting Pedro Munoz up for a title shot,
They screwed Aljo 100%.
and then Aljo whooped his ass. You know, which he did. I mean,
One
he
thing is that
totally
now-
nullified his game. When you neutralize a guy's game,
Yeah.
and he can't do anything he likes to do,
Yeah, Aljo looked. He's
you
looking so
fucking.
good.
That's like the ultimate victory. Like when you trade with a guy and it's even and it's close and you get a decision, that's a tough fight.
Yeah.
When you make it so a guy can't do anything he likes to do,
That's a beautiful
that's
thing.
the fucking best
Yeah,
shit
yeah, yeah.
ever. It's like
get
I
that.
just
No, I get
totally
what you're
shut,
saying.
and he totally did it to Pedro Munoz, who's like one of the best in the world.
I get exactly what you were saying.
Aljo's set up now too. He's guaranteed a title shot, or should be. Like
Oh, without
I'm
a
thinking
question.
by the end of the year, and now he gets.
If he's not,
gonna,
we
like
should
he's
all-
gonna
we
watch
should
this
all
fight, and like
we should all protest it if
that's
he's not.
that's like a
I'm
win-win.
so sad.
Like that Aljo versus Peter Yan fight is such an awesome fight.
Oh,
Like, but even like, who would
dude,
want to
that'd
watch
be insane.
Aljo fight Jose Aldo? That'd be so
That'd
sick.
be a
That'd
fun
be a
fight
great
too.
fight.
That'd
Yeah.
be so cool. watching-
Aljo fighting anyone.
Yo, anybody
Yeah.
down for that? We protest if he doesn't get the title fight too.
No, he's
What
dead,
happened
dude.
with Frankie Edgar's
and
fight
and it
now?
kind of it'll give
So bad. We protested.
and you think about it too, like for Aljo, if I was in his shoes, I would want my title fight to be with a crowd, honestly.
Oh, big time. Yeah,
So
I
hopefully
wouldn't want it to be
by
like
the end of the year,
Yeah.
hopefully shit'll be back,
It
and
will.
maybe they sell out Madison Square Garden with fucking Aljo and
How sick
Peter
would that
Yan.
be?
Made it like
Please.
yeah, right, like
Well, they have to do
Throw
Jersey. 'cause they're-
Khabib in the mix for like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
like,
yeah, just make it.
well,
into
they'll
a
definitely. I know that they were talking about. They've been wanting him for New York.
I feel bad for Khabib because that died young too.
I was
R.I.P.
so
Yeah.
upset about that, and for
a
multiple
shitty one.
reasons.
And
Multiple
also,
reasons. Like that's
It
just
does
it's
suck.
terrible.
Like one of the few casualties from
COVID.
in the fight community.
I know.
Yeah, to be Khabib's dad. That
I
sucks. I wonder what happened. I wonder why.
They said it was something complications. He had a heart problem anyway,
He had
and that's what I mean. The only thing to come out of that is them saying the truth that there were complications beforehand, that he had issues as to why. I
Which
think
is
he went
sad,
to
yeah.
cardiac
We were
arrest.
talking about this at the gym yesterday, so I want to say, what do you think? A lot of people said that Khabib, they think that Khabib's gonna like retire now, or won't fight again, and I was like, no way.
He might just need time to think about it.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he's gonna need
You
time.
and it might take you time. You could take you a year to get over the death of
Big
a loved
time.
one
I
in a
think,
way that makes you
He
feel.
was scheduled to fight Justin Gaethje September 19th right now.
I think
I don't think so.
That might be too soon.
I don't know.
It's too soon.
But he
Unless
will
The
fight
only
again.
reason
He will
why I
fight.
think
I
he
think so.
might is to do it in his father's
Yeah,
honor.
right. That's
Because
what
he's
I
a
mean.
very, they're
and the
very
father's a
religious.
fighter. It's
But
not like
They're
the
very spiritual, and I could see.
But a lot of
and-
people are saying like we don't know what Khabib, how he's doing, like he hasn't announced or said anything yet.
I don't think he's going to come out and say anything for a while. Personal opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
He
I
seems
mean,
like a
let the
really
dude mourn.
private person.
Yeah, which is
let the
I think
dude
the right
mourn.
thing.
Yeah.
However he needs to. If he wants to fight
if
right
he
away.
decides
He's
that
gotta
he
fight.
doesn't want to fight,
He's got to
I
fight.
think it's going to be a great fight. But if he decides that he doesn't
Yes.
want to fight right away,
I love that fucking fight.
they need to say, okay, you
I
know,
think
and
they
let
will.
him. You know what I mean? You can't go. Oh, now he has to give up his fight. No. Give him time. But I think he fights him, and I think it goes all 5 rounds without a question. I don't think
Yeah,
that's
I like that fight with
Yeah, I
him
think
and
it goes all
Gaethje.
5 rounds of Gaethje. Big time.
I don't think so.
No.
Gaethje gets knocked out or he knocks people out. That's why
Well,
we
this
love
is the
him.
thing, and I said that is that people have to, because they're like, oh, Khabib's got no hands. I'm like, we watched that fight with Conor McGregor. He
You
threw
know,
the
I
only
like
significant-
Quinta.
the only real significant punch thrown in that fight was by Khabib, and he knocked Conor on his ass. So I
He can
beg to
strike.
differ. His striking's getting better, and
Hold on.
his grappling is bananas.
He's just gonna fuck him up. Bro.
Yeah, you
I'm
never
gonna
know.
stop you there. I
never
will
know.
say
I love
this.
Gaethje. I'm a big fan, so I saw his last fight with the World Series of Fighting.
That's such an awesome fight. Just
Yeah, it is on
stylistic.
paper.
That's
On
why
paper, it's a great fight, right?
Khabib's gotta do his thing more. And, but
Maybe I wouldn't take it in September then.
that Gaethje Khabib fight has to happen.
Of course it does. Khabib is never going to happen. That fight is just cursed.
The
to happen.
universe swerved it.
Yeah, it's not meant to happen.
I mean, if Justin Gaethje beats Khabib, and then I could see Khabib and Tony like.
Well, then,
Number
yes.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I think in this world, it's not supposed to happen. I told you how I felt about this. That the universe swerved Khabib Tony. So, like, if Tony fights Khabib, he'll win. He has the right skill set
Yeah.
off his back. But Khabib cannot lose to Tony in this world.
No.
So you can't have them fight. Like, if you know how, like, logic puzzles
Yeah.
work? So they could just not fight. It
So
just
I've
swerved.
pulled a lot of fights in my day, and I've pulled a lot of title, like, changing hands. And I've said this from day one, and I still stand by it. I think Khabib is going to be the only champion to retire undefeated. And I think after this will be his last fight.
He'll fight Gaethje, you think?
Yeah, it'll
And
be
then
his
call
last
it a
fight.
wrap.
Yeah.
Does
And then he
want
can
to-
hand
what
the
is he
belt.
going to
He
be
can
at?
hand the belt to Gaethje right there. I mean,
Yeah,
he
yeah, especially if it was a great fight.
and I think he probably will, and that's my personal opinion, and that's my spidey senses. And I've called the demise and the rise of a lot of champions just off of like and then I lose it on my
I'd like
heart
to see that fight.
because like my heart takes over sometimes, but this is not even my heart saying
I'd like
it. This
to
is
see
just
that
what I think.
I would love to see that, and that's like a MMA like Cinderella story.
It
or whatever.
is.
Like,
It couldn't
but
get better.
that doesn't happen in MMA.
You
Like,
never know.
Never almost
doesn't
never
like GSP is the closest that'll happen to. Like,
Well, and then you have
Khabib
Valentina.
has so many
Valentina
fights.
has
Yeah, but he's
losses
not done
but
yet.
under
He's not
her
done
under
yet.
the 125 belt.
Valentina to me is undefeated.
She's going to retire under a 125 pound champion undefeated. Because
She's so
as
good.
that champion,
She does
undefeated.
nothing.
Do you know what I'm saying?
She
Like,
does nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I watch every.
Yeah. And I don't
I
think
can't help but
now.
obsess with Valentina.
I think that
she does nothing wrong.
when Cyborg
Never at
retires,
Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
I think when
I was creeped
Cyborg
out.
retires, she's going to retire with those only 2 losses under her belt.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think if she fought Amanda Nunes again, she would win.
I don't know if I'd
I
say
do.
that. I don't know.
It's just my personal
She's a little
opinion.
too wild.
It's just my personal opinion. I
She
think she
looked
would
good in
win.
the fight with.
Alicia Spencer. She looked great.
No.
I wish we could see it.
I
But
know. You never know, though. You never know. The guy-
Against Julia, the one from Bellator.
Oh, that just happened. Yeah.
That was a good fight.
That was old Cyborg. Cyborg came out like old school style.
I like that.
And you know what? After her first loss ever, which was her first fight, she went 13 years undefeated. So there's something to be said for her losing a fight and her character after. You know, you see some fighters, they lose it. Look at Ronda Rousey. Like, that was just like, whoa, I really
That's a
wasn't.
lot of.
But she was 1 foot out the door anyway, and talking about WWE
She
and
was
doing
getting a lot of
Hollywood stuff. So
offers.
I think she was 1 foot out the door anyway. I don't think she was.
And then the
yeah.
fight with Holly Holm
Oh,
was rough, and then they should have gave her a tune-up
they
fight.
should have never given her Amanda Nunes.
Give her a
right
tune-up
away.
fight.
That was just insane.
I
Before
don't
you.
think they knew about Amanda Nunes back then.
Oh, I think they did.
Who the fuck's that? Come
I
on.
think they
If
did.
you're a matchmaker, you gotta know.
Dana White knew.
I don't know. I remember Ronda fighting men when they were fighting, and I was like, I didn't think Ronda was gonna get rocked too. Like,
Do you
but
wanna
she
I
know
did.
thought it was
she
a big
did?
fight.
Because I
I was
said
a
her coach had her
believer
thing.
of her after that fight. Once Amanda Nunes knocked out, I was like, all right, she's the real deal.
She
Once
was
she
punching
thought she
power.
had the best hands in the world after fighting Betch Correa, and her coach like had it drilled in her head. I was like,
Yeah.
no, she's gonna lose. I said she's either gonna beat Holly Holm and beat her on the
She could
ground.
have won the Holly
I said,
Holm
and
fight.
she's going to armbar her and do what Ronda Rousey did best to get where she was, or she's going to play into Holly Holm's hands and get knocked the fuck out. And
I mean, that was a tough fight.
that was
for
the one
Ronda.
fight I wouldn't call it. Like, I can't call this fight. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
like
that
Ronda. You wouldn't be able to do women's MMA really to this extent without Ronda.
She, and people like, she wasn't a pioneer. She was one of them. She was. You know, you
I-
get
you know who
Gina
I love? Gina
Carano, Chris-
Carano. Yeah,
Gina
she don't get
Carano
credit.
was to me in the original what made girls think that, okay, I could do this and not get my face fucked up too bad.
Yeah,
Because Gina Carano is still gorgeous.
and she's great on The Mandalorian.
She's also does
She's great on Mandalorian.
there's something else that she's
She
going to
looks
be doing.
jacked, and then she
She's
did.
been training a
American
lot too.
Pie.
With
She
that.
looks
I've
jacked.
been watching her train with Kevin Ross.
Yeah, we're at 48 minutes.
This is awesome.
I know,
I'm happy
and we
with
actually
that.
had people watching.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
Oh, live?
Yeah,
Oh shit!
be
You know,
live.
don't worry, you're ready for prime time. You're okay.
Yeah. Be good.
All right. Well, we're gonna leave the Manimal zone in the girls' corner.
Yes.
Steamroller.
We might do something for UFC 251.
Yeah,
Thinking about
maybe
it.
follow me at Manimal John. What's your new Instagram? Got you back, right?
Yeah, Steamroller Frivola MMA,
What's your page?
Wasn't that regular?
_MMA. Steamroller Frivola _MMA.
And Kerry, so you can follow me after.
All right, guys, that was fun. Good training today too.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Okay, so that actually worked.
I just didn't want to do it live, so I didn't want to get it.
But
I didn't want to